Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Wow, I've got something a little bit different for me. This is something like I've never made before. After the challenge I had of making a black with a pop of colour card the other week, I decided I'd challenge myself to try and make an all black card. So I know you can see this, but what I've done is I've ink stamped with my watercolour ink pad and then gone over it with some powders, and I'll show you how to do it. But I've even kept the sentiment in black. There you go, it says thank you on there. I'm going to show you now how I made this because it's really fun to do. One of the things that makes me happy about doing this channel is the fact that it gives me the freedom to craft what I want, when I want, with the products that I want. So today's card is very different to some that you'll have seen on my channel recently, but it's nevertheless it's important, or as inspirational as any of the others. Now, somebody asked me the other week to do an all black card, but I did all black with a pop of colour. This is getting closer to a total black card. So I've got a piece of card, and this is 5 inches by 6 inches, and we're going to stamp on this. Now, you could be stamping with all sorts, whatever stamps you've got. I did consider doing a sort of a corner stamp. That would look really pretty too. It's entirely up to you. You stamp with whatever you've got. What I'm then going to use is this is, I say about using your stash. Look at this. I've got some prism powders, which were pearlescent powders by Hunky Dory. So you've got those. I've got those in these lovely colours. But actually, some of them are very similar colours to... Oh, that's a prism one. So is that one. These ones, these perfect pearls. Now, these perfect pearls I got... Oh, gosh, a bit dirty. When I first started crafting, they're from Ranger. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this. So you've got sort of gold. Well, that's a nice gold one too. Perfect gold, perfect bronze, perfect pearl, perfect copper. There you go. That's what they are. Perfect gold, bronze, pearl and copper. And I'm going to use the perfect pearl, but you could use any of these. But you could also be using any of your inks that... Oh, let's get rid of that. Any of your inks that have got sort of metallic hues in, your sparkle paints, whatever you wanted to. So I've got my piece of card, and we're going to be using our perfect pearls. So we need to prepare our card. Anti-static bag. I'm just going to go over here with my anti-static bag. I'm not going to put on too much because I don't want it to dull the card. If you feel like you get too much on there, get your cloth and just give it a wipe to get rid of it. And I'm going to show you another way to get rid of any extra bits at the end. Now, some people might just go in and stamp this and they trust their stamping. I like to know that my stamping has got the best chance of success as is possible. So I've got my magnet. Oh, there we go. I'm going to put it quite a way down, and I've got my stamp. I could have used either one of these. They both are absolutely gorgeous. Now, this stamp is a little bit wider than my card, so I'm going to line it up with those flowers. I want it to run off the edge, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to run it down off the bottom edge as well, because I think I'll get a better effect. Let's pick that up. Let's move that over there so you can see. And then I'm going to come in with my Versamark. So Versamark is a watercolour stamp pad, so there is no colour. It is super sticky. You can do embossing with it, heat embossing with it, but it's brilliant for doing things like this, where you want you can stamp onto like your black, and then you get the watermark, which looks lovely, or your dark card. But you can do lots of different techniques, and this is absolutely perfect for things like your pearls. Yeah, I've got some brush powders. I've got them out, and I wonder if it will work with something like that. I don't know. So I'm going to pop this down here. I can see it squidging around. It's a lovely detail stamp. It's just out the drawer at the side of me. It's one that I've had a little while now. I just think it's really pretty. So we can put that on there. Let me just make sure my card doesn't move. Now, can you see that? That's not bad coverage. Now if I tilt it there, I can see it's got a little bit mist there. So I'm just going to come back in with my ink pad and just concentrate on some of the missed areas. This is why I like to do it with my stamping platform. So let me just tilt. I don't know how much you can see it. I can just, when it catches, it really is mostly that area. So I'm just going to come in, really press on there, I just give it the other bits a little light press. Now again, if you've got a stamping block, you can put pressure on in it. Sometimes, you know, they are prone to working for first time. I can see straight away. Let me lift that off. Move that out of the way. Clean that up in a minute. Can you see? You can see that, can't you? Now, I could just leave it like that, which would look absolutely beautiful, wouldn't it? I love that. That'll dry. Can you see? It's just like, you know, it's into the fabric of the paper. So I'm just going to put my card onto a piece of scrap. This is just a piece of scrap copier paper. And I'm going to bring through my pearls. I'm just giving it a tap to make sure they're all down. There we go. Look at that. It's very, very fine. So I'm going to get a brush. Now I want a brush that's got very soft bristles, quite wide. And all I'm going to do is pick some up. I always try and tap it back off. So I've got not too much on. And then all I'm going to do, look, is I'm just going to go across. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can you see? Oh, look at that coming to life. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, my goodness me. I love this. That instant effect. Don't worry, we're going to get rid of any bits that are a little bit darker in a minute. Let's just go across. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's got that pearl, but it's not really added too much to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cloth. I'm just going to give it a tap a minute. And I'm just going to get my cloth. I'm just going to, try not to go that way. I'm just going to go down and just brush off any excess. Because it'll stick to the watermark ink. So it won't come off there. Oh, that looks so much better. Just needed that little bit of tidying up. Now, if you've got anything left, you can always go over with the anti-static bag again. But the other thing I found really helpful is your glue pickup tool. And I do link to these. You can also go over and it will just pick up any stray bits. It's quite a useful tool to have. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Now, this one is better than the one I prepped, so I'm going to use this one. Let's get rid of that scrap paper. I can use that again. So I'm going to turn this over. Let's just make sure my work area is tidy. And I'm going to get my foam tape. Now, my foam tape is a white foam tape. And I don't want to mess up this card for the sake of a bit of white foam tape. But I'm still going to use it. But I wanted black foam tape. Now, I did see that they had a roll of this on Sticks 2 website recently. It was less than £1 for a massive, massive roll of the black foam tape. So I think I need to get in touch and get myself a roll of the black. But if you haven't got black, imagine when you put this on your card, I'm going to just get the black piece that I'm going to mat and layer it onto. When you do, when you look down there, look, you can see the white foam tape. Can you see? You can see the white foam tape. I don't want that. So it's really easy to correct. I've got a black marker pen. Any pen, you can use your alcohol pens. And I'm just going to go along there. And I'm just going to go along there. Now, I don't need to do those because once it's trapped in, I'm not going to see those. But what I do need to do is go along those edges as well. Now, if I didn't have black foam tape before, I've now got black foam tape. And it's going to hide all that white, bright foam tape that I don't want visible. If you've got the black foam tape, brilliant. You're very lucky. Go ahead and use it. Look, I've got mucky fingers. I'm just going to wipe my hands, but I'll make back in a minute. Right, look at that. I just wanted to get rid of that. So you've already seen what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop that onto some black tape, black card. So that's about somewhere between 1/8 and a quarter of an inch bigger. So it's about 3/16 if we're being pedantic. So I'm just going to do, as I always do, a little bit of wet glue on there. Just there. Do you know what? Doing things like this, it's the simplest thing to do. Just putting that black pen on. But it really does make the difference between handmade and homemade. And, you know, it stops it looking amateur. It really does. Oh, you see, this is why I like having glue on. because I completely got that in the wrong place. And I can put that on there now once I'm happy. There we go. Pop that down. Okay, so I've got a card base. Now, I said to you it's nearly all black. So my card topper was 5 inches by 6 inches. My card base, I've only gone up by 3/4 of an inch. So we've gone from 5 inch to 5 3/4 across the width, 6 inches in height to 6 3/4 inches. So, and then I've just put a piece of Centura Pearl Pale Silver onto there as well. Now this card base I made myself, as you can see. I like to put the join behind the front because then when people lift it up, they don't tend to see it. Just a piece of A4 cut in half. Now this is why my card is the size that it is because I wanted to use a single sheet of A4, and that meant that if I did 5 3/4 width, I could get 2 out of a length of my black cardstock, and then it would work. So I am getting very low on black cardstock. I really need to get some more. There we go. And then that can go on, oops, to here. Now, coated cardstock here. So just remember, sorry, I dropped it and I smudged it. There we go. Coated cardstock, so remember to use a glue that's not going to be to impact your coated cardstock. But look at that. So I've just got that little bit of light on here and that on there. So we need to finish it off. It's going to be a really simple card. So all I've done is I've taken a strip sentiment. So this is my thank you. There we go. And I've already cut it out a couple of times. So I've cut it out a couple of times and I've layered them together. Look at that. And this is how it cuts out. Can you see? It just cuts out like that. Hopefully you can see that. I was going to put a third layer on there, but then I changed my mind and decided my third layer was going to be in the silver from behind. Now you could just go across here with the silver, and I think that would look really, really special. But I'm going to make that into a drop shadow for the black. So let's get my scrap paper back. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to get my dotty tape pen. Now you could do it with wet glue, and I did do it with wet glue before. But if the wet glue oozes, it shows quite a lot on the black card. And you don't need too much adhesive at all. So I've just put a little bit onto there. Now I'm going to make this the skinniest drop shadow you've probably ever seen. I just want it to be almost like a twinkle, a hint of a drop shadow, I'm hoping. So it's sometimes easier said than done, especially on sentiments, because they stretch and they can be a little bit tricky. So let's see if we can really budge it up. And we want, like I say, we want it to be a hint of a drop shadow. Just add in that little bit of a hint of what's underneath. Now, I don't think I've got it very well on those bits. Can you see? It really isn't very much at all. It'll show up more once it's on the black. Let's see if I can get this on. I tend to drop shadow down and to the left, but that's just my personal preference. I just need to lift this up a little bit. And it worked with the the dotty tape pen because it's such, most of it is covered up. So it would work. There we go. That's better. So we can, oh, I've gone a bit big there, look. This is the sort of thing that's really easy to do when you haven't got a camera 3 inches from where you're working. There we are. So I'm going to come across here now. And remember, every layer you do, it gets thicker and it's easier to put dotty tape pens on because it doesn't move. So I'm going to come across here. If you want to do it the other way around with the silver on the top and the black as a drop shadow, that would look lovely too. Even on the black, it would still work. Or you could just put a single layer of the silver on. It's whatever works for you. Just put that on there. There we go. And this is going to go across the centre of my card. Just like that. I could trim those off, I think actually I will. I think I will. I wasn't sure that I was going to, but now I've seen them, I am. Oh, there we go. Might have to just grab a little bit of glue to... Come on. There we go. Yes, that is definitely the right thing to do. I need to get the... I've got a little bit of glue on that nozzle. So I'm just going to... See, even that's too much. I'm just going to... Good thing is tacky glue dries clear. The black nuts. It's about getting the right amount. Is that stuck down at that end? No, it's not. So let's just try again on there. Hopefully that'll work because it's nice and tacky off the nozzle. There we go. So I actually thought that's where I was going to stop. But then I just decided, you know me, I like my gems and my pearls. So I'm just going to grab a couple of black. And I'm going to go quite small. I'm not going to go the smallest. I'm going to go for my second size. I'm just going to, you know, it's always 1s, 3s and 5s. So there's 2. There's 3. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. I was going to go 5, but I think that's enough. Oh. There we go. I'll just put a little glue mark on there. Just rub that off. That's it. And if you're at all concerned because it's matte black, just go around with your glue pickup tool and just pick it up. Now, this is so different to... I have never made a card like this. I've just got a little catch there. Just a minute. That's going to annoy me. There we are. So different. But I think it's absolutely stunning. Look at that. Can you see it catching? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I hope you like that. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but even if it's not something that you would do in those colours, have a think. This would work really well if you did it all in red. It needs to be strong. Navy blue. That would work. Navy blue. Oh, I might be tempted to try. If you've got some matte navy blue card, try something like that in there. Absolutely stunning. It would work so well. You could even go craft card, would work really well, and just change up the colour of your your powders that you put across the top. I really like that. I've really enjoyed putting that together. I hope you have too. If you liked it, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and really help, and please also don't forget to click the subscribe button. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. There will be plenty more videos coming your way very, very soon. So until then, my crafty friends, thank you for watching. Enjoy your craft. Remember, crafting is fun. Craft what you enjoy. You craft what you enjoy and it will shine out from the product, out for the project rather, that's what I meant to say. And you will, people will love them in return. So until next time, my friends, you take care and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.